I'm alone on Christmas. Why? It's the cost of having a healthy AoE. It's the cost of prioritizing quality over quantity. But personally, it's the result of previously thinking relationships didn't matter. This conclusion was always going to happen if my thought process continued that way. And it's like this right now because I just have recently changed my on that, realizing that for true happiness, relationships are the most important thing, if not everything. Now that I have a different process, it'll definitely change. I really do think it's just a matter of time. I have to be able to create this new ecosystem to prove to myself and the ones that come after me that it's possible. For example, I remember thinking for months and months on end how I wouldn't have a girlfriend or I wouldn't get a have like a meaningful friendship or I wouldn't do well in my classes or whatever whatnot or I wouldn't do good in a video game. Um, all those things changed after a matter of time. But when I got out of a not very healthy situation, and I think that's one of the biggest process I had to deal with therapy is just realizing that I have control over my life. So many times where people think that I'm making a very rash decision, in many ways I probably could be, or I probably am. It's just that I was never given the chance to make that rash decision. And given the chance, I will take that rash decision. And many of the rash decisions that I've taken, I don't necessarily regret because many of them were warranted. I think it's mainly me just being afraid of what bad decisions I can make in the future that could affect me a lot. Which, from all the things that I've read of people talking, you can never be afraid of that. You have to take those on the chin. They say a smart person doesn't make like makes mistakes, but learns from others' mistakes. And I think I have learned a lot from other people's mistakes. And the one mistake that I don't want to make is having the wrong person around, but you can't find the right person until you've gone through really bad people. That's the conundrum there. Another thing that changed was when it comes to the girlfriend thing. It happened so fast that I didn't realize what was happening. I'm not the type of person that will go out and just like I'm not good at cold approaching. That's just not my thing. I prefer to like if I go out to a party or something, which I haven't in a while, but if I go out to a party, I'll usually like strike up a conversation and um, talk to people that way. But it's usually just like on a cordial type basis. I'll probably tell the story later, but there was something that happened in high school where I was probably the last person I ever just like cold approached. Everyone after that was, or lots of people after that was just like, oh, I became friendly with this person, and I was like, oh wait, I kind of like this person. Then I didn't want to do the thing where I fall into because I saw this meme and it was like when that friend you have starts asking or starts like trying to wind up and tell you that they like you, and I'm like, I never want to put someone in that predicament where they have to like reject me because I've like made this relationship with them off of what they could feel like is like false pretenses because these feelings were hidden the whole time. As a result of that, I just don't really follow those through, and I usually hope that when I as soon as I meet someone, it's okay. Off the top, I should make my intentions clear, but I don't think you can control that too often. Sometimes that thing just builds, and you have to give yourself grace for that. But when I went vacationing, the the way this happened was just so it was so organic, and I remember in the middle of it being like, this feels like it's the start of something. Like we're getting along pretty nicely. I like the vibe that's going on here. But even with that, it took me 4 days for me to even say something to them because I was just so in my head the entire time. But that's just an example of things like changing for the better, and things happening. In terms of school, I still haven't gotten that on track. But I do remember thinking like, oh, I can't do this, and then I like start studying for like a couple. I start studying for like a couple days consecutively. Then I'm like, oh wait, this is not as bad as I thought. And then it happens over again where then I um, procrastinate, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be impossible, and it's a repeating cycle. And then when it comes to friendships, it's the thinking like, oh, I'll never get as close of a bond as these people have, or I want that like kind of friends friendship where everyone knows each other, they have like different dynamics, but you kind of come together in the middle. And then like I after like week after week, me and this buddy are like grabbing coffee, um, grabbing food, talking about stuff, and we like swimming together, and it's just like constantly slowly building. I'm like, oh wait, this is becoming one of those friendships that I like, one of those friendships that I really wanted. Um, and I think that happens with like much of everything, but you just have to have the willpower to not be afraid of it. Because I can imagine myself in that plane when I was talking to the girl, just being like, oh, or just like dropping the conversation, or just like not continuing it, or even once I got landed down, not asking her if she wanted to go out, right? Like that was the precipice. That was the inflection point of, oh, do you continue this and hope this works out, or do you just like stand back and continue to just be like, leave this as a friendship? I got a little bit off topic. How did I avoid loneliness when I was alone on Christmas? I went swimming. In fact, when I was driving over to go swimming, the person that I was talking about that I met on the plane, um, I saw her walking across the street, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, that's my ex," and she looked hella bad, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And of course we're cordial now, so I say like, "Oh hey, what's up?" Um, there were so many things I wanted to say to her in that moment, but I realized I had deleted everything of hers. I didn't have her. I blocked her number. I deleted all the pictures of her because I knew that would help me the best to get through the breakup. And we broke up over things that were, I guess I understand when people say this, inconsolable differences, where she believed one thing, and now looking back on it, I was almost willing to fold and be like, yes, you know what, fuck it, I'll deal with it. But then I realized, like a little bit after, obviously, like a month or two after, no, I'm not willing to give up that anymore because I just don't. It's just not my thing, and it's not like it was anything like weird or off or whatever. But it's just personally, I don't find myself wanting to do it. Which was like it was a thing that was important to her, but I just never felt it was important to her. But for me, it was kind of the opposite, where it had caused so many bad. And you can probably guess what it is, but it had caused so many bad things for me that I just couldn't. But even me saying that, it's a kind of a lie because it had given me both bad things and good things. But I just, with the way I was thinking and the way I'd always thought, that was never gonna be me. But after saying hi, just to, because I could have said nothing, but I said something. And obviously I'm still thinking about her right now. Um, I think I'll get over it soon. But after that, I played some games. I streamed on twitch.tv/ Mars Um, but I know good times are coming soon. And if not soon, good times will come in the next 2 years. I just have to wait to find the people, find my people. And I think it's good that I made that healthy AoE video because I know what my type of what type of environment I want to cultivate. And I know what type of people I want to be in that environment. I guess it's all about just weighing the pros and cons now. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Um, okay, you just stay safe. Don't die.